In a small New York studio in early 1976, a producer pressed record on a song that would help launch a worldwide phenomenon. That single track would go on to inspire over 500 cover versions, appear in 37 major films, and eventually help shape the sound of artists from Daft Punk to The Weeknd. It's just one of the 10 explosive disco hits from 1976. We're breaking down today. Songs that weren't just popular, but literally rewrote the rules of music as we knew it. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. The Dance Revolution. Bee Gees, You Should Be Dancing. In April 1976, three brothers with distinctive high hair walked into Miami's Criteria Studios with a demo tape tucked under their arms. Barry, Robin, and Maurice Gibb, the Bee Gees, were about to change music forever. Their record label executives got nervous when they heard You Should Be Dancing. The Bee Gees were known for gentle ballads like How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? Not this pulsing dance track with Barry's soaring falsetto that seemed to defy human vocal ranges. That falsetto, combined with the track's thumping bass line, taught America new ways to move. This track didn't just launch the Bee Gees into disco superstardom, it created the blueprint for their Saturday Night Fever soundtrack and transformed American nightlife by turning dancing from an activity into an imperative. The first disco number one, Johnny Taylor's Disco Lady. Taylor, known mostly for his blues and soul recordings, was taking a huge risk. His sultry, rhythm-heavy Disco Lady blended his soulful roots with the emerging disco sound in ways nobody had tried before. Disco Lady made history as the very first song with disco in its title to hit number one on Billboard's Hot 100, officially announcing the genre's arrival to mainstream America. Despite radio programmers initially hesitating over this new sound, Disco Lady sold over 2 million copies and spent 4 weeks at number one, proving disco wasn't just some passing fad. The transformative power, Diana Ross's Love Hangover. Diana Ross stormed out of the recording studio when first presented with Love Hangover. The idea of singing disco felt beneath her after years as Motown's reigning queen. Producer Hal Davis knew he needed something dramatic to change her mind. His solution was genius. Transform the entire studio into a makeshift nightclub. He brought in strobe lights and champagne, creating the perfect atmosphere for Ross to finally embrace this new sound. The risk paid off. The finished track broke all the rules of pop music in 1976. It starts as a slow, seductive ballad before suddenly shifting into a driving disco beat halfway through. This innovative structure created the template for extended dance mixes that would dominate club culture for decades. The command that launched a movement. KC and the Sunshine Band's Shake Your Booty. In a tiny Florida studio in 1976, Harry Wayne Casey and Richard Finch wrote a song with just 3 words in the chorus that became disco's most direct command to dance floors everywhere. Radio stations initially refused to play it. The word booty was considered too suggestive for 1976 audiences, but the song's irresistible horn arrangements and perfectly syncopated rhythm section created such a perfect blend of R&B, funk, and Latin influences that resistance proved futile. The track spawned specific dance moves that spread through clubs nationwide, creating shared experiences in America's still largely segregated social spaces. The Heavenly Connection. Tavares, Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel. 5. Cape Verdean American brothers from New Bedford, Massachusetts brought something special to disco in 1976. Tavares created Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel, a song that perfectly combined smooth R&B harmonies with disco's infectious energy. Producer Freddie Perrin had just finished working with the Jackson 5 when he took a chance, blending Motown's polished vocal style with disco's driving beat. The song exploded globally, becoming one of the first disco hits to conquer Europe and helping establish disco as an international phenomenon. The Infectious Epidemic. The Silvers, Boogie Fever. 9 siblings from Massachusetts, ages ranging from 13 to 25, created a song that described disco dancing as something you could catch, like a disease. The Silvers had been marketed as a cleaner version of the Jackson 5, but Boogie Fever pushed them into bolder territory with lyrics about a fever making people lose control on the dance floor. Their song wasn't just clever wordplay, it actually described what was happening across America as disco rapidly spread from city clubs to suburban roller rinks and wedding receptions. The song's biggest impact came through school dances and family events, where it introduced disco moves and fashion to suburban America. The scandalous origin, Andrea True's More, More, More. In 1976, former adult film actress Andrea True found herself in Jamaica filming commercials when political trouble struck. Unable to bring her earnings back to the US, she made a quick decision: spend the money on a recording session instead. That desperate move created More, 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 a track with a distinctive drum break and trumpet hook that would eventually be sampled in over 30 major hits. Despite her adult film background, or maybe because of it, the song climbed to number 4 on Billboard's Hot 100. It proved disco could showcase female sexuality in ways other genres couldn't at the time. The Rhythm Revolution. Vicki Sue Robinson's Turn the Beat Around. A Broadway actress with no previous hit records, created what would become one of 1976's most influential disco tracks. Vicki Sue Robinson brought her theatrical flair to Turn the Beat Around, a song so unconventional her label initially rejected it as too complex for radio. What made the song revolutionary was how it pushed percussion to the forefront rather than using it as mere background. The lyrics literally instructed listeners to focus on the beat, a clever commentary on disco's rhythmic innovations. Despite industry doubts, the song reached number 10 on Billboard's Hot 100, proving audiences were ready for more sophisticated dance music. Its percussion breaks and innovative rhythm section mixing techniques became standard practice for dance music producers for decades. The Groove Pioneer, Earth, Wind & Fire's Let's Groove. Though Let's Groove wouldn't officially release until later, Earth, Wind & Fire tested early versions in select venues during 1976. In these small clubs, they were creating something revolutionary, a perfect bridge between disco and funk. These 1976 performances featured extended instrumental sections, showcasing the band's incredible musicianship. They proved disco could incorporate complex musical ideas while keeping people dancing. By developing this song during disco's peak moment in 1976 and refining it through live performances, Earth, Wind & Fire created a template that ensured elements of both disco and funk would survive long after the disco sucks backlash arrived. The Liberation Anthem, Candy Statton's Young Hearts Run Free. In a Los Angeles studio in 1976, gospel-turned-soul singer Candy Statton recorded a song born from her own painful reality. Young Hearts Run Free wasn't just another disco track. It was her story of surviving an abusive marriage. Producer David Crawford made a bold choice. He set these raw, painful lyrics to an upbeat disco arrangement. This contrast could have backfired, but instead created something powerful. Young Hearts Run Free topped the Billboard R&B chart and became an anthem for women's liberation. Its legacy has outlasted many other 1976 disco hits, finding new life in films like Romeo plus Juliet and inspiring covers by artists from Kim Mazel to Gloria Estefan. Conclusion. These 1976 disco hits didn't just sell records, they completely changed how music worked. Each track introduced something new that musicians still use today. The 4 on the floor beat, the extended dance mix, the bass lines, they all started here. These songs gave voices to people who weren't always heard and created safe spaces on dance floors across America. The production techniques pioneered in these studios became standard practice for decades. When you hear The Weeknd, Dua Lipa, or Daft Punk, you're hearing the echo of 1976, the year disco found its voice and forever changed how we make, hear, and feel music.